After sailing nearly 9,000 nautical miles over the past 18 months from Panama west across the vast Pacific Ocean, we've made landfall in New Zealand.
Land ho!
Oh my God! For many cruisers, this is the finish line. They sell the boat, head back to land, and start a new chapter. But for us, this isn't the end. We have something different in mind.
We're all cleared in. Customs came through. Biosecurity came through. Yoda is gone.
Arriving in New Zealand aboard Wanderlust feels like reaching the other side of the world, yet strangely familiar. Rugged green hills roll into quiet bays, echoing the coastlines of our beloved Rhode Island. We've sailed thousands of miles to come home in a different hemisphere.
This is really beautiful here. Definitely different from anything we've done in a while. It kind of reminds me of when we went up to Newport, our first cruising season on Wanderlust. We got up there early and it was still chilly, but so beautiful.
Beautiful here.
All right, we are anchored.
Yeah, it makes such a difference to anchor with the headsets, man.
I know, it's so great.
Awesome. You know, there's people that say, you can do this, you can do that.
The hand gestures,
whatever.
but these headphones are amazing.
I like them, don't buy them.
And what a beautiful spot, right?
It's fantastic.
And there's sheep, black sheep over there on the hill.
They're all here, the black sheep.
Not all of them.
Say.
So we're gonna, stay here tonight and then head over to Half Moon tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
We're off. We're heading over to Half Moon Bay Marina this morning. Richard, a very nice guy who we are about to meet in person, has helped us out get into their work berth there so we can tackle some projects. Oh man, what a beautiful spot. We slept like logs. Beautiful, huh?
Yeah. What a spectacular bay, huh?
Yeah. Fabio's lifting the rudders up because the entrance to this river is quite shallow. It's like 0.3 meters in places, so just in case. It's been a while since we've been in an area with so much traffic, and then like the rules of the road. Oh shit, what's going on here? It's turning now. What is going on? I don't know what's going on. That boat just turned. What do I do?
Richard and the dockmaster greeted us and helped tie Wanderlust up to the dock. While we are here in New Zealand, we have a laundry list of projects that we want to tackle, and we have been starting to work our way through the list, right?
Yes, knocking some stuff off.
Yeah, we had a couple of guys on board this morning from Half Moon Bay Marine Electrical, GT and Miles, and one of the issues is the stray current that we kind of wanted to put to bed, and we tested for it in Tahiti again.
Yeah.
Didn't find any current, but today we had Miles test again.
It measures like millivolts.
Oh, okay. So it's really super sensitive, right?
Yeah. Default is normally between 750 and 950 is a good range. If it's within that range, then I'm pretty happy. If it's above that range, then you could be suffering. Usually if it's below that range, again, you could be suffering, but that's more to do with the anodes. This will just essentially verify whether your system's bonded or not, really.
Okay.
I'll do some just checks to get just a reference from like the rudders and other bonded points first, just to get a reference point of what I should be seeing.
Okay.
Anything there?
Minute. Okay. Very, very minor. Your drives would be bonded to the anodes and all of that. So we should be seeing a good reading, which was about 950 1,000, which is good. That's a good base reading. Then we go around the boat and we see what the rest of the boat. Theoretically, things like this aren't connected to the bonding system at all. So you should be seeing negligible, if not nothing. So that's 081. So, well, that's for the bonding test. Means that there's nothing flowing between this and the water, which could be through any means of, it could be, you guys say you've got carbon fiber throughout the boat, could be through that, could be anything. So the next test we'll do is I'm gonna get out that cable. Just got to verify all the different components for it.
It worked, yes. Yep, absolutely. How much power goes into
the lithiums are a game changer.
Yeah.
If you're enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up, drop us a comment down below, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. It's a totally free way to help us out. Thank you.
Nothing there?
Nothing there.
Awesome.
That I can see there. Alright, we'll go to the mast. If I do volts, I'm getting half a volt there,
Okay.
which is the same as what I was reading with the other tester, remember?
Right.
So, that verifies both tests. I've just tested to the negative, which will in turn be connected to the anodes, because the negative from the house will be connected to the negative of the start.
Yeah.
And the negative start is connected to the chassis of your engine,
Right.
or the casing, which is also bonded. So that complete circuit.
Okay.
Have you seen any corrosion?
No.
Okay, you haven't got a problem.
No?
I don't think you need to worry about it.
Oh.
Yeah, and normally what you'd see is around the base, where it's hard down on the deck, you'd see rust marks.
No, the stanchions are actually really
Good.
Good.
Shape. We
Yeah.
already clean them. So.
Yeah. So yeah,
That is the greatest news of the day.
it's not galvanic.
Awesome news.
Happy to say that
We don't have any.
Yeah, we don't have
They
straight
are
current.
real professionals. This guy, they have the right equipment. It's not just like a rigmarole like we did in Tahiti.
I know.
And normal galvanic current between two different metals, which is totally tolerable. There's no evidence of corrosion anywhere, so we're very, very happy.
Exactly. And we have heard since we've been here that there was a bad batch of cables that came out of Australia. So that is possibly what happened. Next on the list were the throttles on starboard, the Yanmar throttles that we've been dealing with for a long time.
Yeah.
And so what happened with that?
Well, that's a long story, but we initially thought they were the cables that connect the actuator to the SD drive. They were a little tight and corroded. It was giving a signal back. For the first time in 4 years, after having problem with the VC10 on our starboard side, we talked to somebody, just one person, we didn't know who he was, and we ran through troubleshooting, and he said that maybe the cable to the SD drive is the one that's causing the problem. It's not an electronic problem, it's a cable problem. I'm not sure if that's the case, but the cables are 4 years old. They look a bit rusted, and so we're gonna change it. I'm gonna take them out so I can measure them and order new ones. This is held here by this cutter pin, which came out easily. I have to take this. We changed those. Those are not the problem.
Today is the day we are picking up Yoda from quarantine. She is getting out of jail. Very much looking forward to it. Of course, it's raining today. We were going to take the ferry to Auckland, but
No.
it's raining, so we're getting an Uber. They do have Uber here in New Zealand, which is great.
Great.
And then we've rented a car because Yoda is like, I think over an hour from downtown Auckland. So we're gonna go pick her up. We have a 7-minute walk to meet the driver, and he's gonna be there in 1 minute, so we're late, usual. Have a good day. All right, we got wheels. Okay, let's
Keep lift.
make sure we know where we're going.
Yes.
We now have about 44 minutes until we see Yoda. Thankfully, Fabio's driving. One day I'm gonna drive on the left, just not in city traffic.
In 400 meters, your destination will be on the left.
Oh my goodness. Go, go, go. It looked like the gate was closing.
Oh.
I'm hallucinating.
meters.
I'm on very strong cough medicine. Hi, Mana. Hi. Aw, Yoda. Yoda, we gotta pick you up, girl.
Yeah. You.
You're free. So we have this simple task of moving the boat from the work dock to an actual slip at the marina this morning. Should be simple. And the throttle just totally went out. We had no control. Thankfully, we could get over to the fuel dock. So now we just have to kind of like try and coast over to the slip. We've got the dinghy in the water. Our friend Richard is here helping us out.
A local guy on shore released our stern line, then went forward and tossed our bow line up. Of course, the wind was gusting into the 20s. Peter from the neighboring gunboat was in another dinghy.
Lost the engine. I lost the engine.
Richard and Peter began pushing Wanderlust with the tenders as a strong wind had taken the helm and was blowing her to starboard. We had totally lost control, but I grabbed a fender in case we got close to the multi-million-dollar vessel in the neighboring slip. Unfortunately, the tenders were no match for the powerful wind, and they simply weren't able to push us into the slip. We just needed to avoid the other boats and thankfully hit the piling instead of our new neighbor and bounced back, while Pete kept the tender in between us and the other boat. Fabio ran back to try and start the engine again, as sometimes this would re-engage the throttles. Meanwhile, the wind continued to blow us starboard, and at this point, we just wanted to get back onto the fuel dock. Unfortunately, the throttles would not engage, so the guys used the tenders to continue pushing Wanderlust so she turned starboard. Finally, we were close enough that I could pass our stern line to
I give it
Pete.
to you and you bring it to him?
Yeah.
I paid out the line and Pete drove it over to the local guys on the fuel dock. It was incredible how everyone was coming together to help us out. Pete reversed out so the line didn't get caught on his engine or tender, and the guys pulled us in. Pete and Richard continued using the tenders to help get Wanderlust onto the dock as the force of the wind was incredible. I tossed Pete the bow line and he took it over to the dock. Finally, we could breathe a sigh of relief as the guys pulled Wanderlust to safety.
Oh, you lost the engine. You have no engine, I have no control. Shit. That's why. Well, you didn't choose a good day. No. Well, they told us we have to move from where we were. Oh. Okay. So we moved, but...
Well, that was a shit show.
It was.
Didn't work at all. So we're back on the fuel dock. And this is where we'll stay for the moment.
The marina agreed to let us stay on the fuel dock overnight as the wind was forecast to subside, and we'd give it another go in the morning. The guys released both stern and bow lines and threw them on the dock.
Crank it back in again and give it a few revs and get good to go. It seems to be okay at forward. It's just the reverse drops out.
So you got a little bit of courage.
Pete from Gunboat Lagoose was waiting on the dock to help us with the lines.
Once you bow here, mate. Once you bow. What's your port side?
I have no control.
Take it forward.
I have no control.
Okay, forward. Yeah, you got it.
It came on.
We can probably walk it up.
No, I think the fact that there's no wind is really helping.
Helps us never know what's going on.
Thank you so much.
That was much easier. There is no wind this morning, and we had a ton of people helping. They're so nice. I can't even begin to say like how nice the people are here. Big relief.
Finally, we really agreed, all of us, including GT, was like, the expert, that the problem is actually in the throttle. There's one LED that is not working. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe the LED doesn't, it gives a bad signal to the computer.
GT from HMB Marine Electrical is recalibrating the cables in the engine compartment.
You know, I have to shut off. I get the alarm as earlier. I'm going to go with the starboard engine forward. And it's working okay.
Okay, neutral. And I'm going to go to the other helm and select.
Yes, sir.
Now that the
Really?
cables were
I'll just leave it right
calibrated,
now.
GT was troubleshooting the throttle head and ultimately deduced we should send it to be rebuilt. Go to port.
Okay, you're out. Today we're going out to test our throttles, and we've got JT and Miles on board from Half Moon Bay Marine Electric. GT is the one who calibrated the throttle cables for us, and so he's on board just in case anything goes wrong and we need to make adjustments on the fly. But we've got a nice, very low wind day, which always makes things easier.
We'll probably do a compass calibration.
Okay.
Because currently your heading does not align with your course over ground.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll do a compass calibration, which will involve some donuts.
Yeah.
Not the yummy kind.
No.
No.
First thing we're doing is calibrating the autopilot. So just running through that process.
That's Mach 3. It'll probably have R25 bigger.
Actually, before we do the rudder alignment, we're doing the dockside calibration because we haven't done that yet.
That's starboard.
We're recalibrating the autopilot because it hasn't worked properly since our steering refit, even though we tried many times to recalibrate on our own.
Put some oil on.
What speed you normally use.
Once the calibration was complete, we hoisted the sails. If you'd like real-time updates and behind-the-scenes content, consider joining the Harbors Unknown community on Patreon.
Yeah, that works, right?
Yep.
Okay. auto tacking. All right, well, the guys have got us sorted pretty much.
Yep.
So we're heading back to the marina. Everything's calibrated.
Looks beautiful.
Throttles are working the way they were. We still have that alarm. I think we're gonna send
You have to send it.
throttle to be rebuilt because they're no longer making them.
Yeah.
And what else? Oh, we discovered that our secondary autopilot RAM the positioning needs to be
Just a
adjusted.
little bit. Needs a different pin. That's okay.
Yeah, but everything else is good.
Yeah. Super.
The Fisher Panda generator, we've been getting this inverter overload message, error 31, intermittently, which is highly annoying. And so now we've had 2 people on board, one gentleman the other day.
Let's see if we have that chart on. Okay, that one. We fire them up.
Just filling some. What can happen?
Yeah, can we start them?
And it didn't make the error today. So Miles took a look at everything and kind of thought things through and said, maybe it is inside the inverter itself. We're not sure. So we'll just kind of monitor that.
We may have to send the inverter back somewhere.
Right.
To the people that make it and just
have them
have it tested.
Yeah, do an analysis.
It does work. It just shuts down and then we have to wait and restart it. We put it on posts online and nobody has an answer.
Yeah. While we're here, we'll have a rigging inspection, take out antennas that we no longer need, switch the Starlink to 12 volt.
Yeah, we're gonna put Starlink from 110 on 12 volts and probably move the location.
Right. Fabio did the wheels yesterday for the dinghy.
Yes.
Which is great, so we don't get beached.
Yes, when we get beached, we have a way to get off the beach without
because
using...
the tide is 10 feet today.
There's serious tides here.
Yeah.
Right eye. 10. Boom.
Looks good, huh?
Yeah.
We had lost a piece. This guy, I found him. We officially have wheels, huh?
Yep.
Nice job.
Yeah. All I have to do is clean the dinghy and fix it up a little bit.
Yeah. She needs a little love.
She does.
But these are cool because then they just flip up and you can take them off.
Yep.
Pretty easily, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Can't do it here. I need to be in the water. So.
Yeah.
I'm tired now.
A slew of other projects,
yeah,
but for now,
yeah, like wrapping the tubes for the bowsprit and the davits, which are peeling again. So we're gonna wrap in a 3M wrap.
Yep.
Which is great, and then there's many other projects. We're not gonna bore you. You'll see them as we go.
Exactly. But that's what we're tackling for now, and we are just thrilled to be in a place with Wanderlust where we can get some help from knowledgeable people and have access to parts.
This is like a sailor's place.
It's a sailing mecca.
It's a sailing mecca. People here know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna get mad at it for saying this, but I'm not surprised that they kicked our ass in the America's Cup. These guys know what they're doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, the wind here is no joke. It goes from like 10 knots to 25 knot gusts, and it really blows, and they are still out there on the water. In fact, today when the guys were working, it started raining, and they just kept on working.
Yeah, they didn't stop. Yeah, it's New Zealand weather.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Well, we are loving it here so far.
Yeah, it's a great place. And the food is delicious.
Yes.